Hello again. I am back because it is almost time for BookNet Fest, and I felt like I should do something. And since I'm really just here because it's almost time for BookNet Fest, and I gotta make something before BookNet Fest, it feels like the correct thing to do is the Get to Know My Taste tag created by the Queens of BookNet Fest, Sam and Maddie. So let's do it. Let's get to know my taste. I, of course, have my handy dandy clipboard. And the first question is, how do you rate books? Give a quick rundown of how you do your star ratings, or if you don't use star ratings, how you evaluate books. I do use star ratings. My star ratings are very vibey, though. My hot take about most numerical rating systems is that there's a way in which people want them to provide or act as an objective metric, even though they are in fact inherently subjective. Like, my rating for a book is an inherently subjective thing, and you're putting as many of your own parameters on it as you can, but at the end of the day, it is still this very subjective thing. So I do use star ratings. I use half stars as well. A 1-star book I fucking hated. A 5-star book I loved. She's flawless. She's perfect. And everything in between is, I don't know, man. 3-star book is a good book that has some problems. I would recommend it to some people, but maybe not everyone. On the whole, I enjoyed my experience more than I didn't enjoy my experience, versus 2.5 is I feel solidly mid. I can't say if I enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it more. That's the true midpoint for me, and kind of up and down from there. I don't know. It's very vibey. Question 2, how do you approach reviewing books? What's your review style? Are you analytical, emotional, casual, or structured? I don't really do a lot of reviews these days, but when I was doing them in places, the style is very contingent on where. So, if we're doing an episode of Snark Squad Pod about a book, that's going to be a mix of all of these things, right? There will be analytical portions, there will be emotional portions, there will be, what are the other options? Casual, structured. The whole thing is we're spending an hour having a whole conversation about a book. It's been a year since I posted a review on Goodreads, but when I did do that, those were usually pretty short, very concise, a high level takeaway, 2-3 sentences maybe of what I thought about a thing. I am both analytical and emotional just as a person. And so I think that that is always going to be true of how I am discussing most things, media in particular. I also have a lot of feelings about the dichotomy of analytical versus emotional, but that's for another time. What's the book that made you a reader? Whether it was your first favorite or the one that got you hooked, what book started it all? I mentioned this in a previous video, but I feel like the answer here probably has to be Babysitter's Club. Not necessarily that it was even my first favorite, but the thing about the Babysitter's Club is that I feel like it was probably one of my first fandoms, just because, I was getting these 4 books a month, for up to 100 books. So for years, I got 4 books a month, and the books usually came with, there was usually something else, some other little treat in the the book packages. So I was very, very into the Babysitter's Club. The other book that I remember being really obsessed with as a child is Number the Stars. I bought it at a Scholastic book fair in 1st grade, and then it ended up being an assigned book in 5th grade, and I was like, I've already read this one. So that one was also really important to me as a child. Do you have a genre niche? Are there certain genres you gravitate toward, or do you read widely across genres? I feel like I probably gravitate slightly more towards sci-fi, fantasy, and literary fiction, but maybe stuff that lives kind of at the intersection of those. I don't necessarily read a lot of high fantasy, and even the sci-fi books that I read tend to be softer, softer sci-fi. Anything that lives kind of at the intersection of those things, it's got sort of lit fic vibes and a splash of something sci-fi or fantasy. That's very much my jam. I feel like I do read pretty widely, though. I read a fair bit of romance. I read a lot of nonfiction. So the shelf behind me, here and here, these are all nonfiction books, and then this is fiction. Those are some graphic novels up there, and those are my binary books. Question 5, do you generally prefer character-driven or plot-driven stories? What do you mean? Both. You gotta have them both. I don't know. I don't know why this question has so profoundly stumped me. I feel like they both have to be present and good. Question 6, what's a book you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? What's the one book that you love enough for everyone? My immediate answer is the His Dark Materials books. Like, I feel like I kind of understand reasons why people don't like them. I intellectually understand that some people think the beginning is slow. Like, I say intellectually understand because truly that's not my experience, but I've been told that, and that's fine. You can feel that way, and that's certainly an opinion that one can have. I don't care. I don't care that you have that opinion. I just love these books so much that it doesn't matter to me what you think about. Like, you're welcome to have your opinions, and that's totally fine. They're just maybe wrong opinions. What's a book that you love so much that if someone doesn't like it, you know your reading tastes don't align? The books where a difference of opinion is a strong indicator of different reading preferences. This question is really hard for me because I feel like I understand lots of reasons why you might not like a thing. I feel like I could make a case against many of my favorite books, and like, I don't know, I don't really care. So like, first of all, anything that you would have been assigned in school, so like Gatsby, Pride and Prejudice, I adore both of those books, but also I understand why you might not love those books, just, baggage associated with your academic experience of those books, or with, the way that things get labeled classics. Like, there's lots of reasons that to me are totally valid. I get it. That's fine. I don't care. And like, looking at this shelf behind me, trying to figure out how to answer this question, last night at the Telegraph Club by Malinda Lo, if you do read YA, the one like exception here is if you're just like, I literally don't read YA, that's fine. But if you do read YA and you don't like that book, I honestly would be like, oh, I think our taste just doesn't align. Like, we're not on the same page. I would also say Light from Other Stars by Erika Swyler. I think that's a book that might actually be a better one for taste comparisons, just because there are things that she's doing that are very, like, I don't know, thinky and dreamy in ways that aren't necessarily for everyone, but are very for me. And if you don't like those things, our tastes are probably not on the same page. Oh, and a book that is not on this shelf that I do actually have to put up here is A Master of Djinn by P. Djèlí Clark. If you did not like that book, you don't like fun. I don't know. You just like that. You don't like fun. And that's fine. You don't have to like fun, but you don't like fun, and we're not on the same page, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be a 5-star read, like a 3-star. If you're like, yeah, that was a fun little book that I read, and then I moved on with my life. Totally cool. That I accept that. But if that was like a 1 or 2-star read for you, we're not on the same page, and that's okay. What's in your trash pocket? Books, tropes, or themes that you know are bad, but you love them anyway. This one is also really hard for me, not because I'm not a trash pocket girly. This is like my term, or maybe it was me and Nnedi together. I don't know, for sure the provenance of this. I'm a trash pocket girly, but I feel like the first time that this came up, it probably would have been talking about MTV's The Challenge and not like a book. I don't tend to turn to books for that. The closest thing that I can come up with. And I feel like bad saying it because I actually don't think it's bad. Like, I still think it's good. But I like have reread these books maybe an inordinate amount of time for how good they are. You know what I mean? Like, they're solid. But it's probably not necessary to have reread them like 7 or 8 times, which I have. And that's the Crazy Rotations trilogy. I love them because I was a big fan of the Gossip Girl books in high school, and those books, like, it feels like that, but for an adult. Like, that's the experience that I have. It feels trash pockety, even if I will also defend them and say that they're good books. I don't know. Do you have any deal breakers in books? Something that, if present, immediately turns you off from a book? Like bad writing? I feel like I must have something else, but I truly can't think of it. What's a strong opinion you have about a book released within the last year? Whether it's overrated, underrated, or just a take you need to share. I read a lot of backlists, but I also just don't really keep tabs on like when things are coming out. So this question is also a challenge. I'm just like reaching what's near me. This book that we read for a nonfiction book club came out last year, I think. Nope, wrong. It came out in 2023. It was bad. That was going to be my take. Oh no. How to End a Love Story is, you can't see it, but I'm pointing to it, I promise. That had a central premise that was so like I had like a surprisingly enjoyable time reading it, but the opening setup, the reason that these two people are enemies in their enemies to lovers journey, actually fucking wild to me. Wild. I was like, I don't understand how you're going to make this make sense by the end. And did she? You know, I feel like I must have given it like 3 or 4 stars because I had a good time reading it. But I don't know. I don't know. That was a weird one. What do you look for in writing? What makes the book stand out to you in prose, style, themes, voice structure, or something else? I love when it feels like authors are having fun with language, but in a way that is purposeful. As far as thematic stuff goes, I love a grief story. I love a found family story. Yeah, there's lots of things. I also love books that are very voicey. I like feeling like it has a very strong point of view, a strong sense of who is talking to me. I enjoy that. That's a risky one because it's possible that the person who is talking to me just pisses me off. So, you know, I don't know. That one's risky, but when it works, it's great. How do you decide what to read next? Do you plan ahead, mood read, or follow external factors, hype, recommendations, arcs? I am very much a mood reader. I do put a lot of holds on things in Libby when I hear a review from somebody that I like or trust. By the time those books come in, I have no idea how or why. Like, I have always forgotten whatever it is that sold me on the book. I've had some really interesting reading experiences for that because like I started a book thinking it was like one thing and then it was something else entirely. Very much a mood reader. Sometimes I get sort of like pulled along by when those holds become available, but even then I'm often like, no, wait till later. I'm not ready. Where do you get inspiration for your booktube content? What sparks your video ideas, other creators, trends, personal reading experience? I do this. Tags, you know, that's kind of it. Tags and BookNet Fest videos, and I do book club, nonfiction book club with Deboki, and that's my booktube content. Maybe I'll do more. Maybe I will do reviews this year. Maybe, who knows? If you could make any book go viral right now, what would it be? A book you think deserves more attention and why? Ooh, that's a really good one, and I wish I had thought about this literally at all, but I have the questions in front of me. I could have prepared. Oh, but I didn't. Oh no, silly girl. I feel like I should pick a book I haven't mentioned yet. Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor. I'm also really excited for the Memory Police adaptation and looking forward to the Memory Police having a moment in anticipation of the adaptation. I hope that this happens. I really like it deserves it. Oh, and why? I just realized that also I'm supposed to give you a reason. Lagoon, because it's fun. Lagoon is also just like fun and weird and delightful. And I feel like I have a strong attachment to that book in part because of like how and when I came to it and how it shifted my taste in reading. Like I read this book and I was like, oh, I want more of this. I actually specifically found it on a list of books that were recommended tied to the Annihilation movie. It was like, you know, books you should read if you liked that. Like I wanted to read other books that made me feel the way that movie made me feel. I still haven't actually read Annihilation, the book. The Memory Police is a book that just genuinely haunted me. And so if this book has haunted me and like gotten under my skin in that way, I would love to have more people like talking about it. My camera died as I was recording the very last question, which is honestly like kind of an attack. But anyway, the last question is, who are some booktubers with reading tastes similar to yours? My immediate answer to this question is, of course, my bestie. She reads a lot more than I do, but I do feel like a lot of my reading is sort of like using her as a filter. With her being like, okay, you read 10 books, 7 of them sucked, but 3 of them were good. So I'm gonna read 3 books. That's been really awesome for me, to be honest. Highly recommend that experience. I have also been really loving Steph, Starry-Eyed Steph's videos, now that she's on BookTube. And I feel like she has a lot of recommendations that I would agree with. Like she's a lot of things that I haven't read, but everything that she has recommended that she loved, that I have also read, I also love. Naomi from Mixed Up Desk also did this tag video, and I felt like I was sort of nodding along to everything that she had to say. So those are 3 people that come to mind whose taste I'm like, yeah, good. And that's it. That's all the questions. I'm so excited to see people at BookNet Fest. I feel like it's going to be really good for my soul. If you are coming to BookNet Fest, please let me know in the comments, and I can't wait to see you and hang out. And it'll be great. And also, if you have not done this tag video, you should do this tag video. All right. Bye.